relative to this year's Upfront. Um, Obviously, it's a marketplace that has continued to evolve over the years, and I think when we look back at what's gone on over the past year with consumption evolution, as well as some challenges we've seen from a supply standpoint, as well as the ebbs and flows of pricing and inventory avails. This is going to be a unique marketplace, and I think how we always look at it is the upfront is a time for buyers and sellers to get together and align on investments that we want to make across the video marketplace. It's obviously not just limited to linear suppliers or linear supply. I think it will be more inclusive of inventory across the full video landscape, as it's been moving in that direction already. And I think, from a timing standpoint, it's our position has been, we want to be ready to move when it's in our clients' best interests, both from the standpoint of when it makes sense for our clients to do it and when there is opportunity within a developing marketplace. So we kind of look at that on a client by client basis and look to act, like I said, at the moment that makes the most sense for each client. And that can be driven by any number of factors. Obviously, specific inventory they're looking to secure. It could be driven by larger partnerships, bigger sponsorships, ownership positions that become available for negotiation within a specified period of time, and any number of factors. So, I think the upfront now offers us a lot more opportunity to be flexible. In the past, it was a very simple, we bring money and we earn ourselves pricing type of mechanic. And now there's so much both sides can bring to the table that's different, right? In terms of nonlinear inventory, in terms of evolved deal structures, in terms of our ability to target more effectively through data that either we provide or a third party provides, or that we can look to the suppliers to provide. So when we put all that together, I think we have a really dynamic marketplace. It doesn't necessarily have a beginning or an end. It's like I said, it's a time for buyers and sellers to come together and identify what makes the most sense for the clients who are ultimately doing business on behalf of, to get what they need out of a dynamic video market.
So, Neil, I wanted to talk about planning, allocating, optimizing CTV across direct and programmatic. It's a new option. It's a big area. There's a lot of inventory there. What tools or strategies are important to optimize your planning?
Yeah, I think with regard to CTV and other nonlinear components of the buy, we still look at an upfront for most of our clients, first and foremost, as helping to drive reach, right, and building brands. And we can do that effectively across, obviously, the linear marketplace, but also expanding it into direct investments into CTV and other digitally served advertising. But it also gives us the opportunity to look a step deeper at the targeting side of it, right? We're trying to build brands, we're trying to build reach, but we're also trying to find specific audiences and drive specific outcomes. And the ability through our own technology and through third-party technology to be able to activate CTV in that manner is something that we're trying to bring into the conversation more this year than we have in the past, both in terms of looking at it as a more significant component of what the buy should be, but also the timing of it, right? We should be looking at our video investment holistically and trying to identify, okay, here are all the ways we can activate over the course of the year, and here are the objectives that we're trying to accomplish with our advertising, and try to decision that more strategically on the front end, as opposed to saying an upfront is a market, and then we're going to have these other marketplaces over the course of the year. So Being able to incorporate CTV strategically into both of those buckets is an important part of the strategy work we're doing now.
And Neil, are there interesting technology solutions that you're seeing or that you would like to see around, this advanced TV world, perhaps on the DSP side or on the cell side, on measurement? What's exciting, and what are you hoping that the industry kind of solves, tools that you need in the year ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no secret that the industry needs to solve for the ability to measure the incrementality from a reach standpoint of nonlinear. Obviously, Nielsen is a player in that space, and there's other folks involved as well. That I think is the biggest component of being able to talk to clients effectively about making these shifts, about optimizing their demand into nonlinear supply sources, is the ability to prove it out from a reach standpoint. I do think there are good developments being made from a platform standpoint in terms of pulling more supply sources together and being able to decision across them at one moment in time, and being able to understand the collective result from pushing out messaging across various platforms through various means. It's by no way an exact science at this point, and I think it's a good problem for us to have as an industry, that we are pushing almost in every case in advance of our ability to prove some of these things out. It just, I think, shows that strategically we're pushing along with the evolution that that consumers are driving from a consumption standpoint. We just need to be able to tell that story effectively through data to our clients.
And one more question, Neil, what about interoperability between all these programmers who are building these robust CTV services? What about the complexity of buying across these different networks that were formerly just TV networks? Now they're far more complex.
Yeah.
Are there more walled gardens? Does that create an issue for you as a buyer?
Yeah, I think when we look across the supply landscape, it's interesting because I think if I put my consumer hat on, right, I have the same concerns about the marketplace as I do as a buyer, right? How many of these services am I going to subscribe to? How many do I need? How much is too much when it comes to separating yourself out into these different services? So I think we look at it the same way from a buying standpoint. In a perfect world, and I think we'll probably get to this point, we will have the ability to understand the impact of messaging on one platform versus other platforms. Like I said, the incrementality, the reach driving ability of each one of these platforms versus the others. It feels like, as an industry, we move towards this idea of we're bundling a massive amount of content together within a cable subscription, and now we're chopping it all back up and it's living in silos. And I think I don't know if that's best for the consumer necessarily, and I don't know if it's best for us as an industry to be separating it out. So I do see a point in time where some of this stuff will start to come together, at least from a measurement standpoint. I just can't. I wish I could predict what that would mean, but it is something obviously that I think we need to work towards.